Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Joe. Welcome back to SNES's Life for recap number 59. With the completion of these 5 games, we're 295 games on the library. I got 5 more to go to 300, so how exciting is that? First on the docket for this review, John Madden Football 1994. This was the third Madden game on the SNES, and by far, I don't feel like there was a massive difference between the first one and the second one. But this one was playable. Everything moved much faster. It was much smoother. The sound and everything was better. That said, it's still a Madden football game, so I'm still going to give it a thumbs down. This was the best of the 3 that I've played so far. And knowing that there are more coming, hopefully they continue to improve on the 16-bit systems, because I know, in today's day and age on the PS4s and 5s and Xbox Ones and 360s and things like that, it's basically just the same damn game with different rosters. They never really innovate anymore. But this was nice to see them advance the gameplay, make it better, make it smoother. Yeah, it's still thumbs down. I'd rather play Tecmo Bowl. That's just a personal thing. So who knows? Maybe if you're a sports guy, you probably have a little bit different varying mileage on that than me, but it's what it is. It's my choice. Next up is Aladdin for the SNES. Now, this is different than the Sega Genesis version. Sega, they're both giant puzzle platform, or not puzzles, but just giant labyrinthian maze platformers. But in the Sega Genesis, you get a sword, and in this one, you get to throw apples. And everyone says that the Sega has the better animation, and it might. I really don't. I don't know. I'd have to go back and play it like immediately following this one. But the graphics in this one were really good. The animations and the sprite work was excellent. The music was good. The only thing I'd have to say is that some of the platforming is a little too precise required. Like, it requires too much precision. There's some where if you don't land just right, you miss and die, which is kind of irritating. And there was, I think, at least a couple areas where you were blind jumping. If you jump up to a platform to get a bonus, but then the screen won't move down far enough to see what's under you to try and land not in a hole and die. Other than that, this game jumps the shark like halfway through. It's got like 6 full stages, each one being like 3 areas. And I think like stage 4, you go to like an Egyptian pyramid because Abu went into the pyramid for some reason. It doesn't match the Disney movie at all. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but whatever. It was totally acceptable, and it was a fun play, and we did finish the game. It's a thumbs up. It's the greatest platformer ever, no, but it's pretty solid. And I think for all the argument that people give that the Sega is the better version, I think the Super Nintendo one is totally playable and worth getting. So thumbs up. Next up is Best of Best Karate Championship Karate. Is a one-on-one fighting game. Where they try to make a simulation karate game. You can pick your boxer's face. That's it. There's only like 5 faces. And you can pick your nationality. Not that it matters. And then there's like 90 moves in here that are programmed in that are actual like karate moves. And depending on which direction you're holding your control pad, when you press one of the action buttons, you do actual karate moves. And the sprite work is pretty good. And the foreground background is pretty good. Like, they look nice. But, lack of music, as many games do, and just slow and kind of janky hitboxes and kind of garbagey gameplay makes it boring as sin. Another one-on-one fighter that didn't need to exist because the early 90s were just rife with one-on-one fighters. I didn't care for it. It's thumbs down. Next up is Jurassic Park, based, of course, on the 1993 hit movie from Steven Spielberg. This is a very interesting game. The primary game is actually like a top-down exploratory thing, and if we watch our little clip of gameplay footage from my stream here, you'll get there. But what I found the more interesting is that there are buildings in the game, and they gave you these like first-person shooter, like Doom goggle, like 3D looking stages where there's dinosaurs in the buildings trying to get you, and you have to stop them, of course. To eventually, I think the point is to find key cards and gain access to the computers and everything. Is it groundbreaking? No, but as far as like putting an FPS on the system, I think it's pretty cool. You know, it looks fine. The music in the game was pretty good. The game was playable. It's a bit too much of a maze for me. Like inside the buildings is 100% a maze. Like you need to draw yourself a map because there's no map in the game, and it needs one in a big bad way. If it had a map, I'd probably thumb up it. But as it is, it doesn't have a map, and neither does the outside world. And you have to walk all over this god-forsaken island looking for shit, and it's kind of a pain in the nuts. I ended up giving it a thumbs down because while it is playable and it's okay, I would rather play the Sega Genesis version of Jurassic Park, which is just a generic action platformer where not only can you play as Dr. Grant murdering everything, but you can actually play as the Raptor and also murder everything. So, whereas I just said Aladdin, play it on either system is fine, Jurassic Park, I would stick to the Sega Genesis version for that one. The Super Nintendo version gets a thumbs down, unfortunately. Final up is Clayfighter. Like I just said a second ago, another one-on-one fighter. Here we go again. This one made with these gigantic sprites. And they basically were trying to sell this on, hey, look, you know, it's Mortal Kombat Street Fighter without the blood, and it's clearly not real people, you know, and don't promote violence in that particular way. And it's a janky fighter. The sprites are enormous. The movement is slow. The music is so-so. The moves and hitboxes are functional, but they seem off. Like, I was trying to do a Hadouken move, and I'm playing the guy with the pumpkin right here. And he has a Hadouken. He throws a fireball. But he also has, like, a dragon uppercut if you're looking in terms of, like, Street Fighter. And half the time, those two moves are so close to each other that I would be trying to throw a fireball and I'd do the uppercut, and vice versa. So I don't think the inputs were great. There are supposedly fatalities in this game, claytalities, and I could never get any. I'd never figured them out, and I couldn't find them on the internet, believe it or not. So supposedly, but who knows whether that's accurate. The point is, when you die in the game, it usually makes, you know, like I think my guy falls and his pumpkin head smashes. Some of them just like turn into piles of goo, things like that. The game is playable, but it's not great. And while I could see maybe some people would like it for the chunky sprites and the art style, I don't care for it. It's another one-on-one fighter. It's going to be a thumbs down too. So that's 4 thumbs down. The only one who wins this week is Aladdin and the Genie. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. Hope you all continue to enjoy the show for what we have here. I got 5 more games till I hit 300. Some of those, there's a couple fighting games in there, I think, like Art of Fighting. And then I think that Battletoads and Double Dragons in there, so there's a beat 'em up. But then there's also the awesome game of Barbie Supermodel, so watch out for that one. That'll be a hit right there, I'm sure. But that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in to recap number 59. I appreciate y'all. Have a good one.